Welcome back to another episode of Coming Home with Jenny Oceans. Yes, celebrating you for being here, celebrating you for taking this time to soaking up of the wisdom and the magic and the encouragement that I'm here to share with you. I'm not here to give you more things to do or chitter chat on something that's actually not going to benefit your life. I'm here to gift you something that will benefit your life in one way or another. As always, showing my deepest respect to the original custodians of this land, the Bundjalung country and the Yugambeh people. Forever grateful for all the wisdom and the connection that they have created with Mother Earth and the land, to live on the land and off the land in deep celebration and in honor of her. So deeply grateful to be able to call this place my home and to be able to receive the wisdom and the knowledge that they have created over time and understood and now sharing with us. Thank you. Wow, I'm celebrating you for being here. Yesterday I went on a little bit of a rant on one of the social media platforms. And I've told you before that social media is definitely not my main portal of sharing my wisdom, my knowledge. So I highly encourage you to make sure that you subscribe. Can you even do that? Subscribe, follow my podcast. The more you follow, the more podcast episodes will be recorded. So follow my podcast, but more than anything, jump on my YouTube channel and subscribe there. So Jenny Oceans, that's where I love sharing my portal. That's where I love sharing because I can be seen and heard. And I personally love when I can see people, I can listen to people, I can feel people. There's so much more than just words being written on a piece of paper or words just being spoken. So go onto my YouTube channel, Jenny Oceans, and subscribe and follow along there. And the more followers I get, once I reach a certain amount of numbers of followers, I can actually go on live there and share my message openly all over the world with people that are on the channel of YouTube, that are there for the long form and not the short form dopamine hits from social media. I'll also encourage you and invite you to go on my website, jennyoceans.com, scroll down the bottom and subscribe to my email list, where you will be able to see what events are coming up online and in person, and also receive some incredible knowledge and tools that will support your nervous system. So moving on to today's episode, we're going to speak about mechanics. And if you have been following along for a while, you know that I very often refer to things that are normal in our everyday life, because I like when I can visualize and understand things, not just through professional boring words. In my mind, they're boring, but to actually receive and picture it in my mind as if it's something happening every day. So I went on a little bit of a rant yesterday. And I was talking about, I always speak about this, how breathwork has become so incredibly popular, and people are doing trauma release breathwork here, there, right, left, and center. And people are throwing like 100 people, 200 people into an open space and closed space to just take them through this release. And then it's bye-bye, see you later, bye-bye. And there are so many people reaching out after they've been to these events, and they're like, oh my gosh, Jenny, I feel so weird. I feel so confused. I feel so open. I feel so vulnerable. I don't know what to do with myself, because these people have been taken through a trauma release breathwork session without that facilitator checking if their nervous system is actually ready for this. Now, I absolutely love that breathwork has become so popular. Breathwork entered my world 8 years ago. Well, actually 9 years ago, because I did stumble into breathwork when I was pregnant, because I wanted to breathe through my labor. And when my daughter was born, I was deeply introduced to breathwork by a facilitator. And she was so nurturing. She has been doing breathwork for over 20 years, over 25 years, I think. And she's just so beautiful and caring and nurturing. Anyway, where I was going with this is that I have so many people reaching out going, I went to this breathwork session and now I just feel really unheld. I feel really unsafe. And that's not the purpose with breathwork, right? So before we go and jump into trauma release breathwork session, we need to make sure that the facilitator has the tools, the experience, and the knowledge and the capacity to hold us through that. And before we move into that release, we need to actually make sure that our nervous system is ready for it. You know, if you're someone that never run in your life and you sign up for a marathon and you just like, or a sprint or whatever it might be, you might damage your body, right? Because maybe your knees will bust out because they've never been running and they haven't run for like 20 years and all of a sudden you're running. Or you used to be a weightlifter, but you haven't lifted any weights for 20 years and all of a sudden you're going to a gym and push like 100 kilos or whatever. That's where you left off 20 years ago. Your body's going to crumble. So it's important that we make sure that people that are taking us through these big things, they need to be able to hold us. They may need to have the capacity and the knowledge and experience to actually know if we're ready. So if you've been to any of my sessions, you know that I will always check your nervous system. I always check in with you before you come to the event, because it's important for me, because I take my work very seriously. It's important for me that I know that your nervous system is ready for this release. So I started riffing on about this yesterday and I moved into the conversation of mechanics. That I love it. I was like, I need to try to remember and I need to put it into a podcast because it's so potent. Now, let's say, for instance, that you own a Lamborghini. Now, the person that owns a Lamborghini is someone that really value good things, right? They have spent a lot of money to purchasing this Lamborghini because they really value good things. Now, the person that owned a Lamborghini, do you think that person will be overdue with his services? Do you think this person will use cheap fuel in his Lamborghini? Do you think he will go where's the cheapest fuel, or do you think he will go where's the good fuel? Now, the owner of the Lamborghini, do you think he will go to the mechanic on the corner that charges $99 for a service? Or do you think the owner of the Lamborghini will go to a highly recommended, maybe even an expensive mechanic that specializes in Lamborghinis? And how do you think that the Lamborghini owner will be greeted when he goes to this mechanic? Now, do you think that this Lamborghini mechanic will just do the minimum amount of work needed for these services? Or do you think that he will do a thorough service of this Lamborghini? Do you think the mechanic to the Lamborghini, do you think he wants the Lamborghini to work perfectly? Do you think he wants it to have like top maintenance on this Lamborghini? And why do you think that? Do you think the mechanic to the Lamborghini might tell the owner, hey, it's a good idea to check your oil maybe once every 2 weeks? Or do you think he will just go, meh? Now, do you think the Lamborghini mechanic will only change the oil when it's pitch black, or do you think he will actually change the oil every single time that Lamborghini comes in for a service? Now, what's the difference here? The difference is that the Lamborghini owner, he values his Lamborghini. It's valuable for him. He's put money into it. He's put time in to make the money into it. Not saying he's trading time for money, but I'm saying that it's an investment, right? He wouldn't put cheap fuel in it because he actually values Lamborghini. He wouldn't go to the $99 mechanic on the corner to do a slap-up job. He wouldn't let the service on his Lamborghini be overdue. He wouldn't do these things. Why? Because he values his Lamborghini. Now, what the fuck am I talking about? Bringing the Lamborghini back to being your body, right? If you're someone that truly value your body because you've come into realization that your body is your vehicle for the rest of your life. So if you are someone that value your body, you are not going to run yourself into the ground and then go to your local 2-letter person and shove yourself full of tablets, put a Band-Aid on the thing, and then just keep moving on. That's that's someone driving a shitty bang bang car, taking it to $9 mechanic on around the corner to put a Band-Aid on the thing. Do you know what I'm getting at? If you highly value your body, you won't treat your body like shit because you value it. And I'm not saying this can't happen at any given point in time. I never used to value my body for shit, but now I do. And now I've spoken about this numerous times. Every single money that comes into my life, 25% of that, yes, go to site or whatever you all know we have to put aside money for, but 25% of that also goes into my health account. Why? Because I'm not going to wait for my body to get sick or ill and then struggle to have the funds to buy the supplement or go and have the treatment that my body need. I'm going to have money put aside always so that I can honor and service and maintain my body, because I honor and I value my body, my vehicle. Now, someone that used to be like me would order the hot chips at the cafe because it was the cheapest. I didn't give a flying fly what that chip did to my body. I still eat hot chips, by the way. I would never, ever go and buy a health product because it could be good for me. I would buy the energy drink from the server because it gave me a hit. You know what I mean? I wouldn't look after my body at all. No way, because I didn't value my vehicle. I had this shitty bang bang car and I wouldn't even take it to the $99 mechanic on the corner because I didn't give a crap until the car was stuck on the side of the road and I couldn't drive it anymore. You know what I mean? And then I would have the biggest shock of my life because I'd pay thousands of dollars to a mechanic to fix it. You know? But then I started to value my body. I started to value my vehicle. My body became that Lamborghini. I'm putting time every single day into my body, my mind, and my soul to maintain, to make it better. Yes. And I'm prioritizing my body, my mind, and my soul every single day. Now I'm maintaining my vehicle. I'm not waiting for something to break down. You know, when it gets cold, I have elderberry syrup every single day. Why? Not because I got a cold and I'm sick, but because I'm supporting my Lamborghini. You know, I'm supporting my Lamborghini. I have On Guard beads every single day when it leads up to the colder months of the year. Why? Not because I'm sick, but because I'm supporting my body. I'm giving that body. I'm not waiting for my oil to be pitch black to change it. I'm making sure that I'm constantly changing that oil in my car. I hope you're following along what I'm meaning with this. You know, I do the things that are good for me. I take the mushroom powder, not because it's instantly giving me a clear mind after using it for 4 days, but because I'm maintaining it. What's the word? I just said it 50 times. Yeah, I'm maintaining my Lamborghini. I'm looking after my Lamborghini. I care for my Lamborghini because I came to realize that my body is my vehicle for the rest of my life. And if I wait for it to break down, which it did, then it's going to take a lot more time and effort to fix it again, and bring it back to homeostasis. And then it's going to be a lot easier for it to break down again because it's already been broken. You know what I mean? None of us are broken, by the way. Please remember that. None of us are broken. I'm speaking in terms of the car and the vehicle, our body. So that was the riffraff that I went on about. And it just became so clear to me that people that are continuously every single day putting time and effort into their vehicle, they're going to be better off in the long run. And this 30-day reset that we are doing with the yin, so 30-day reset with no refined sugar, no processed food, no caffeine, no alcohol, no drugs, no stimulants, all of the things. I've said to every single person inside this reset challenge that you are doing this for you. You know, a person that, for example, smokes weed every day or drink alcohol every day, for them to totally drop that, that's going to be a massive shock for your body, right? So it wouldn't be professional for me to say, drop it all, you cannot have anything. That wouldn't be professional, because we've got to maintain, we've got to look after your nervous system, and to just switch like that is actually quite dangerous. So it's a matter of changing a little bit, you know, instead of having 5 joints a day, maybe move down to 3. I'm not saying to anyone to go and smoke joints, but you know what I mean? It's a matter of like slowly and gently changing things. And we're now in week 3. This is the week 3 of the challenge, where you now have the opportunity that the withdrawals from your body have most likely settled in, like you're feeling okay now, you're in balance. And now you have the next 2 weeks of sitting with what is it that you truly desire for your Lamborghini, for your body. What can you change? Why are you missing things? Is it the hits that you are missing, or is it the entertainment that you're missing, or socialization? What is it that you are missing from the things you have removed? Is it laziness from not cooking food? Is it the automatic morning routine so that when you wake up in the morning, you go and put the kettle on and you drink your coffee, because that brings you back into normal, that brings you back into your past, and that will make sure that your future is your past. And you know what? We are so addicted to what's familiar, what is normal. So if you're someone that actually wants expansion and growth in your life, you need to move away from that normal and create a new normal. And that face is a little bit of a jiggly face. It feels a little bit uncomfortable, right? Because it's in that contraction that we invite expansion. So week number 3 inside the reset is a moment and a time for you to sit and really revalue where you're at in your life and what do you really want in your life. And it's a beautiful thing when I watch my students and my clients and I see them transforming their life, when they're starting to realize and revalue. They're starting to realize that their body actually is their Lamborghini, you know. It is no longer a shitty bang bang car, it's a Lamborghini. So now we want to start look after it and maintain it, and we're starting to notice and feel the difference. Now, what I'm doing today is not for next week. What I'm doing today is for when I'm 60, 70, 50 years old. I want to be a grandma that runs around and have fun with my grandkids. I don't want to be 50 or 60 or 70 years old or even 80 years old and not doing things because my body can't handle it. You know, my grandma, what is she, 92 years old, and she still freaking cleans her windows and do things. And I'm like, you don't have to do this. She's like, yeah, I want to. And I wouldn't say that she's extremely physically fit, but she's incredibly mentally strong, and her body is strong as well. But that there's different reasons for why people do different things. So week 3 in this reset, even if you're in the reset or not, I want you to have a think about, how are you treating your body? Are you using it and abusing it as the vehicle that gets you through every day, and are you punishing it? Or are you treating it as that Lamborghini? Because it's really up to you how you are doing it. And slapping a Band-Aid and moving the conversation into that slapping a Band-Aid on things doesn't actually sort things out. You know, so taking a pill for something, taking a pill every time you have a headache. Now, get me wrong, I'm not telling you to get off all your medications. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not a health professional. I cannot tell you to do that. But what I'm saying is, if you're someone that wakes up with a headache every day and you keep taking a headache tablet every single day, do you think that someone that owned a Lamborghini would just continue putting shit fuel in the Lamborghini even if the Lamborghini was putting along? Someone with a shitty bang bang car most likely would, because they wouldn't think about the car. They would just think about the coins they're saving from the cheap fuel, right? But someone with the Lamborghini know that it goes longer than that. Keep putting the cheap fuel in your car is going to make that your engine is not going to work properly. And eventually your Lamborghini is going to break down. And eventually that's going to be very expensive. So you are better off putting the expensive fuel in, the clean fuel in, to maintain your Lamborghini, right? The Lamborghini person is not going to wait until Lamborghini breaks down on the side of the road to go to a mechanic. The Lamborghini owner is going to make sure that the Lamborghini goes in for frequent services to maintain, not because it's broken, but because to keep it healthy. So when it comes to your body, if you wake up with a headache every single day and you just have a headache tablet every time you have a headache, that is like putting a Band-Aid on something and just hoping for it to go away. But that's not what happens. What if you decided to just stop and bring awareness in and see what is actually going on? If you have shit sleep every single night, are you just going to keep taking the sleeping tablets, or are you actually going to stop and see what is going on with your body? And that brings us back to our nervous system, which is where the conversation started with the trauma release breathwork and not being ready for release breathwork. I had a class this morning. I now have 3 classes a week. with the nervous system. And the women that was there today, this is their third term coming to these weekly classes. Now, what we do is that we sit down and we regulate the nervous system. But these women have learned the tools, and they have also realized that they are more than capable of doing this themselves. Like I said before, one of the women, she was feeling very overwhelmed the other day, and she started humming in the car. Why? Because she knows that humming activates your vagus nerve, and your vagus nerve, if your vagus nerve is activated and lubricated, your vagus nerves can easily switch from parasympathetic and sympathetic, which is fight and flight, and rest and digest. So the humming will make it easier for your vagus nerve to switch into rest and digest. Now that's a pretty easy thing to do, right? But now utilizing them tools to do that, how freaking amazing is that? One woman went from doing 20 breaths per minute down to 9. That's more than 50%. Why? Because her body is now getting used to that it is safe to be in a regulated nervous state. And one of the women today, we did a breath work, and at the end, she fully released. It was not a trauma release. It was a relaxing breath to regulate the nervous system, because it's not all about breath release. And at the end, she released. Why? Because her body feels safe now. Her body feels safe to feel the emotions and to let them release and to let them go. Her body's no longer holding away the emotions, because an emotion is energy in motion, right? But if our body don't feel safe enough to hold that emotion, and if we've been used to closing down the emotion and shut them off, then they get stuck in our body. But the more we regulate our nervous system, the easier it will be, because you now will feel safe enough in your body to release that motion, to let that energy in motion, the emotion, release and disperse and let it go and release that tension. So it's not just about going into trauma release breath work and shake on the floor and scream and cry. That is amazing. Do not get me wrong. That is amazing. I host these events as well. But the most important thing is to learn and connect with your body, your mind, and your soul, and come into a state where you can actually have the awareness to see what is going on with your nervous system, what is happening with your nervous system, and not how once a month go and do a trauma release breath work, which I host, but to know on an everyday basis what you can do to help regulate your nervous system in a holistic way, with a holistic approach. Not by getting from the freeze state where you're just scrolling and you feel numb and you can't get anything done, go and buy yourself the energy and pick yourself up to come home, by the way. Remember, we always want to come home. Or from being all hopped up Mountain Dew, being at work all day, and you come home and you have a glass of wine to put yourself to sleep, or you have a beer to relax, to come home, because all we want to do is come home. So in a holistic way, we don't reach for the quick fixes. We don't reach for the dopamine hit to bring us up, and we don't reach for the alcohol or the weed or whatever it might be to bring ourselves down. And notice that as well. A person that is often up here, stressed or hypo, we want to bring ourselves down, right? And for a person that's often low, scrolling, doom scrolling, can't move, frozen, stuck on Netflix, binging, they want to pick themselves up. So we might use, the people down here might use the energy drinks or the drugs like that picks us up, right? And the person that and need to wind down, they might have the alcohol or the weed, you know. Again, I'm not telling anyone to go and do any of these things. I'm just explaining that all we want to do is come home. And if we work with someone that teaches us how to self-regulate our nervous system in a holistic way with our breath, then we can come home. And that's where we all want to be. We all want to be home in homeostasis. It's a continuous practice. You're not going to go to the gym and get a six-pack in a week. You need to consistently practice. Okay? So the whole conversation about the Lamborghini and the shitty bang bang car is to make you realize that when you come into the state where you actually prioritize your body, you're starting to realize that your body is going to be your vehicle for the rest of your life. No matter how you have punished it previously, because we all probably have at some point, you can change that right now. In this moment, you can make a decision to start treating your body like a Lamborghini. I'm not saying that you need to go and buy $1,000 worth of health supplement and quit all of your bad habits right now. But what I'm saying is to start treating your body like a Lamborghini. Tiny little tweaks, because the tiny little tweaks are sustainable. And when we stay consistent with the tiny little tweaks, we actually change our life forever. We are creating long-lasting results, not quick fixes, but long-lasting results. And what I also spoke about the other day when I was having this RAF was, for a person that might be up here all of the time, they might come home and they must start off having one glass of wine to wind down when they're cooking dinner. And then it becomes 2 glasses of wine, one when they're cooking and one when they're having dinner. And then one more after the kids has gone to bed, because what happens is, let's say this is homeostasis, and from the beginning, 1 glass would get you home. And then you push the limits, and then coming home becomes further away. And then you have 2 glasses, 3 glasses, 4 glasses, 5 glasses. And it just becomes more and more and more and more and more, because you get further and further and further and further and further away from homeostasis. It's the same with people. Let's say people that overdose, they have a hit and they get home. But then next time they have a hit, they need to double their hit, and then they triple their hit to get home, because your body becomes tolerant to the things that you are doing. Someone that drinks energy drink, maybe 1 drink in the morning, 1 energy drink in the morning used to be all you needed to feel that, woo! And then all of a sudden you're like, holy shit, now I need 2. And then it's like, well, they have a 4-pack for $20. I might as well get the 4-pack and I might as well drink all of them. You know what I mean? It just needs more and more and more and more and more. And I'm not here to put a Band-Aid on anyone. I'm not here to be the cheap mechanic on the corner that fixes your shitty bang car and that only half fixes this to make sure you come back again. I am the Lamborghini mechanic that wants you to maintain your vehicle, that want to teach you how to maintain your vehicle at home. I'm the one that makes sure that I do a thorough service every single time. I don't wait to change the oil until it's pitch black. I change it every time you come in for a service, because I want to make sure that your Lamborghini is maintained. Why? Because I'm actually here for you to maintain your Lamborghini. I'm here because I want your Lamborghini to last you a lifetime, and I want it to be as good as possible at all times, and I want to teach you how to maintain that. I'm not interested in doing the $99 service on your shitty bang car so you come back every single time. I want to be here to maintain. I want to be here to make sure that you're starting to understand that your body's a Lamborghini. And I want you to understand that you can learn how to maintain and how to look after your vehicle in a holistic way. And that it doesn't have to be hard. It doesn't have to be expensive. It's just a matter of learning how to and understanding where you're at to be able to come home. And I'll teach you how to come home until you sit here on either side. There's no big jumps. And you know how to just self-regulate to be here, where you feel safe enough in your body to have your feelings and emotions and sensations and know that you can take yourself through them. I'm sending you all the love and light, and I celebrate you for listening to this beautiful podcast. And I really encourage you to listen to it over and over again, because there's so many gold nuggets in this podcast. And every time you listen, you will hear it in a different way. So come back and please feel free to share it with someone in your life that you really and truly care about. Celebrating you for taking time for yourself. You could have spent this time watching some shit on social media or listen to some music, but you chose to invest this time in yourself to receive. And remember that your body is a Lamborghini. It might just need a little bit of TLC to come back to that. Your body is so important. It's what's going to carry you for the rest of your life. And your nervous system is the switchboard. Your nervous system is what's going to keep you healthy. Your nervous system is the key to overall health and well-being. So nurture it and care for it, and reach out for people that actually have the experience of being in the very dysregulated state in life, and the people that have the teachings and the learnings and the practices, and that actually give a fuck about you. Not just to do the $99 services, but that actually care about you and want the best for you. I celebrate you. Please make sure you subscribe here, YouTube, and to my email list to be able to receive more of this magic. And if you have any questions, don't hold yourself back. Reach out, connect@jennyoceans.com. I celebrate you. You are magical and you are absolutely incredible. Please, please start take care of yourself. All the love. Ciao.